Okay, welcome to another video. Um, not sure what episode. Obviously, as soon as it get dropped, it will be visible what episode it is. I just didn't go to my channel and check what current episode that I'm currently busy doing with right now. So today is actually a Saturday, and it's looking very gloomy outside. The sky is filled with clouds and everything. The date is okay. I won't be saying the date. It's the 4th of April because it's gonna reflect on the date this video was posted. But since it's the first of, it's the 4th of April. I'm currently on day. Let me just see day. Wait. Let me just think real quick. I'm currently on day three. Day 33. Damn. Day three would have been crazy. But I'm currently on day 33 of my abstinence journey, my semen retention journey. And we recently just went through a very, I would say, difficult time, but a very potent psychological influencing time based off just astrology and everything. Because I think on the second, from the 31st of March till the 2nd of April, we had like a full moon. And obviously, if the full moon greatly, significantly increases the psychological function, the cognitive functions. So not only do you get a boost in just your basic psychological cognitive function, everything else within your psychology arises. And what happened for me was um I felt the most temptations, the most urges I have experienced so far in this journey. And I say that not because they were super intense. Like obviously there were both physical urges. I would wake up, be pricked. I would be pricked multiple times a day, even without having to think about anything. But the psychological ones were the ones where they were very quiet, like they are subtle, they're like they at the back of your head. It's like they are knocking at the door and they want your attention. They want you to go over there and give them your attention. And I wasn't giving them any, I was completely just observing. I wasn't even trying to go into my ego and be like, yes, I don't feel I have the thoughts of the urges, but I don't feel like giving into them, so I must be I don't know, invincible to them. No, I did not feed my ego in no shape or form. I just went into observer mode, and just as soon as I got to that I am presence, that I am experiencing such, I then choose what next to experience. So I direct my attention to something else. So you could call that transmutation, but it wasn't really work or anything. I usually just be watching stuff, I just be consuming content and whatnot. um if I could just give a quick rundown on my business, bro. Bro, I went through the worst, you know well, it's not a losing streak because it's a back test, but as I was backtesting my edge, bro, I lost 36 trades back to back. How fucked up is that, bro? I lost so many trades back to back. If it was a live account, bro, there's no way I could have been able to handle that. I could handle it. I couldn't even handle it while I was backtesting, bro, because it just felt so wrong. Like I felt so manipulated. Like how? I really genuinely felt like the market was against me, because how, bro? It literally felt like I didn't know what I was doing at this point. Like I'm sitting in a I'm backtesting for like hours, right? And so far we started good. I'm not gonna lie, we started really good. But then things started to change, bro. I started to go on losing streaks, oh, like loss after loss after loss. Like the losing streak just kept growing. First it was a three trade losing streak, and then I would get a win. But I never would get a win more than two times in a row, which was concerning. But then the losing streaks started to increase. Then we got five trades on a row, then seven trades, and then all the way to 36, bro. That was so tough. I mean, not tough, but that was like, was such a challenge, bro, because even though I was sitting here not trading real money because I'm backtesting, I felt my ego, bro. Like it was getting crushed because I naturally wanted to be right, dog. Like we naturally want to know that we're making money. Now you see yourself losing money through a backtest session. How you gonna feel? I honestly felt like I didn't know what I was doing. My strategy is broken. It even felt like I wasn't even trading my strategy anymore because I was just trying to figure out like how am I losing, bro? How am I losing so much? But then um which is quite interesting because after that session, bro, I ended up actually nah, what happened was I kept on experiencing losses every time I was backtesting to the point where that's exactly what I was expecting, bro. How crazy. I literally was expecting a loss, a stop out trade every time I put a trade on my backtest simulation. And it gave me exactly that because that's what it had showed me. But nah, bro, this way that I'm trading, honestly, it doesn't work all the time, and it's not high probability because the market just doesn't print high probable uh price action that often. And yeah, just the way that I went with it, because that that edge I was strictly trading it from the 15-minute time frame because I wanted to be active when it comes to trading. I wanted to be able to execute decent amount of trades in a week, in a trading week, because that's how I view is the way to go when it comes to the prop firm space, you know. So yeah, man, I feel like I just backed up into a corner and I had to just realize that I need to actually go back to swing trading. But I didn't just realize this because what happened was I remember quite clearly the night before this event, this backtesting event I'm gonna talk about. So literally the night before, I had the strongest urges like mental, physical, and I remember just being aware that these are the thoughts, the images that are playing in my mind, and I'm just not giving them any attention. I'm not resisting them. I'm not saying why am I having these thoughts. I'm not trying to run away from these thoughts by saying, oh, I'm having such thoughts now. I must think something else. You know what I've realized is what's understood doesn't need to be explained, bro. And I never really quite got what that meant until like I got to interpret it for myself. And the way that I did was, or rather the way that I perceived it, conceptualized that was to truly understand something. It's a frequency, it's a state, you know. Um, just like any other state, you don't you don't you don't you don't say to yourself, I'm sad, before you're sad. You are sad. You understand you are sad because it's a state that you're in. So what happened was for me during that time, I did not go into my ego. I didn't go to my demented brain and try to rationalize why I'm feeling these things or why I'm thinking these things, and trying to, I don't know, just go into panic mode because I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be having such because they're gonna lead me somewhere, because those be the mind games The ego will play with you. It's gonna make you think that just because you're having such, you're gonna eventually go down a certain path, you know. But that's not the case, because you are in control of what you decide to act upon. That's a fact. So the thoughts, yes, you might get thoughts that influence you to do something, that you might get impulses that, desires that, want you to act upon them. But at the end of the day, you are the one in charge. You are the one literally at the wheel. You are the captain of your ship. And that was shown to me that night. It wasn't a long ago. I think it was 2 3 days ago. Two nights or 3 nights. I think it has to be 2 nights ago. Yeah, cause actually no, one night. Wait, might be two, might be one. Hey, bro, I'm not really sure, but it's very recent. So I remember just being like super aware, just observing my own consciousness without trying to judge, without trying to flee to a certain polarity, because you do feel uncomfortable. That's a fact. You definitely feel uncomfortable because you can feel that you are currently, it's like you are under a spell even, but not like a spell, because a spell influences you to do such. It's like a low grade spell. It's like a C rank spell, because it's there. It's like it's in your head, but it can only grow once you give it attention, once you feel like, or rather once you begin to have that inner dialogue with yourself, like, oh shit, I'm having this, oh shit. Once you start to engage with it, that's when it actually starts to escalate. That's what I've realized. So what I did was just being aware, being observant. And I was watching anime, I think, and then I ended up sleeping. I woke up very early the following day. I think it was around 6, and I wasn't going anywhere because it was like the weekend or something. And I remember just having the thought like, yo, bro, let me just get up and back test, bro. And I did that. I was sitting in this chair for like, I think almost 3 hours back testing, bro. I'm telling you, almost 3 hours. I back tested when the sun hadn't come up till it came up, bro. That's how long I was sitting in a chair, literally just back testing, bro. And yeah, I did that, and that's the session where I realized like my strategy doesn't work anymore. Maybe I've lost the execution. Maybe there's something wrong I'm doing. But then I did, become aware of what I was doing, and I saw that it is literally what I've come to know. But this is my edge. But it kept on losing, bro. I kept on literally losing and losing and losing, and it really started to frustrate me. I won't lie, it was frustrating me. And for some reason I ended up back on the 4 hour chart, and I just stayed and I just watched the market. I just looked at it. And I think this would be equivalent to when people say that the markets, like once you spend enough time in the markets, they begin to speak to you. I guess that's equivalent to what those people meant, point towards when they speak those words. But what happened for me was basically I started to see a pattern. I started to see a very consistent pattern on the 4 hour time frame. And so I decided to just test it. I mean, I didn't test it, but I played around with it. I went and did a quick little experiment, and I saw that this could be something. This could be something like something like real, something that works and is on the higher time frames, and it's like swing opportunity based, or that's what I'm saying. So I did that, and I realized, you know what, let's just go back into the 4 hour time frame and focus more on this model that I feel like might be the one, because it's also based off market structure and also liquidity and draws and all of that. So I did that, I mean, I stopped there once I figured it out. I went into my trading view. I did a quick illustration of what I discovered. Then I saved that screenshot, and then I just closed my PC, turned it off, and then I went back into my bed and I just sat there, bro, for like a good 30 minutes. Just feeling whatever I was feeling, because it was complete. It was a lot of mixed uh emotions and everything. So I just sat there and I just calmed myself, and yeah, that was it. And then I just started watching content after that. I think I watched anime and everything. And then later on the day, I then had another backtest session, and then that's when I started to backtest that model. So what I'm trying to say is, if I had relapsed the night prior to me backtesting, then I wouldn't have had the energy, an ounce of energy in my own body to wake up at the time that I woke up, because the sun wasn't even up at that time, and to decide to do work. I wouldn't have that energy. I wouldn't have had that desire on its own. I would have been on a different timeline, bro. The only thing that would have been on my mind would have probably to watch something that makes me feel good, like a content, a movie, and relapse again. That's literally would have been, and also like having to eat junk food. Those would have been the only things that would have been constant on my mind, because that's what happens when you put yourself in that state. I remember on my previous video that I did talked about the law of resonance. That's the state where you would have began to resonate with those different states and versions of yourself that are operating from that frequency. And obviously, being in a lower frequency, you're gonna crave things that put you in that frequency. So you're gonna wanna eat, you're gonna wanna release again, you're gonna just do just some degenerate stuff, bro. And yeah, man, it's so HD to just see it, bro. Like damn, bro. Like I just resisted, bro. I resisted the urge. Not that I had any resistance to it. I just to tell you what I did. It's not like a technique or whatever, but I literally calmed myself. I didn't agitate myself. I didn't I didn't give any energy, any mental energy to what I was thinking. I literally just accepted this is what it is, and let me accept that. You know, as uncomfortable as it was, I was like, this is what it is, and I'm accepting it, and I'll just remain here doing what I'm doing, regardless what's happening within my mind state, because it's something that I don't want to experience. First of all, I don't want to be having such thoughts. So me resisting this will only make these thoughts even stronger, because I will feel more compelled to get rid of them, and the ego will then start talking to you and saying the only way to get rid of them is to actually follow them, is to release, of which it's so backward. But yeah, I haven't posted yet in a while, so I'm gonna pick up the consistency, but I don't think it's gonna be like everyday type of consistency, because I wanna drop gems, bro. I don't wanna just speak my I don't wanna yeah I don't wanna open my mouth. I don't wanna come here, open my mouth and just blob. I wanna speak on things that have a sort of value for you, for myself as well. Um so yeah, I'm definitely gonna be more consistent on that. But yeah, man, the urges have been quite intense, but I've definitely felt the changes the following day. So let's say you have an urge this day, and then you successfully resist the urge. The following day, you literally wake up like you have a system update, bro. It literally feels like you've updated. You just feel something. It's very subtle, like it's on your emotional, your frequency, your vibration, your most fundamental body essence, but it's there. You can feel it, that there's something different about you. And I'm definitely sure that other people can feel it. They just don't know what to say, how to put a name to it. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. But one thing I've definitely been struggling with the most is lust for food. I overeat, bro. I eat a lot. Even when I tell myself I'm not gonna eat, I end up eating. Yeah, that's the struggle, bro. And I haven't even been consistent with my training as well because of me eating. I eat and then I don't feel like training. Yeah, man. It's just been like that for me for the past few weeks, and I have to work on that. I'm definitely gonna work on that. But yeah, man, with that being said, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I wish you nothing but the best on your journey. And yeah, cheers. I'll catch you on the next.